everybody, and welcome along to VSL F1. This is round number 5, and we're at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya for the Spanish Grand Prix. Situated in Barcelona near eastern Spain, it's hosted the Spanish Grand Prix every year since 1992. Up until last year, it was a testing circuit, but this year it didn't host the testing. Bahrain actually hosted the circuit, the testing. There have been many battles in the past, which we'll go through later on. But before we go to talk about the stands, we'll have a quick look at this wonderful track. It's a 4.655 kilometre circuit, 16 turns, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, 2 DRS zones, 1 on the back straight between turn 9 and 10, and 1 on the start finish straight on turn 16. Overtaking is notoriously difficult, and I mean notoriously difficult, so I think the drivers are going to be finding it hard, and they want to get the best qualifying today. So let's have a look at the results for the standings as based off from last week's race. Mata is now your championship leader with 82 points. Carl is in second with 73. Bankai third with 66. Pete is in fourth with 55. Brandon is fifth with 36. Red Matt is sixth with 34. Seventh is Iceman with 28. Ryan Berry is 8th with 26. 9th is Acorn with 21. And J Luke is 10th on 20. Then we got Neil's 11th, also on 20 points. 12th place is New Garden on 16. 13th is Yuri on 11 points. 14th is Lee on 8. 15th is Logan on 5. 16th is Ahmed on 5 as well. 17th is M. Ryan on 3. Kev is with 2 points in 18th. 19th is Brad. And we got Risky and Davo yet to score. And we're going to look at the team standings as well. So we've got Team Yellow that are leading by quite some margin over Team Green. So Yellow on 159 points. Green in second on 108. Pink in third with 101. Fourth is Blue with 89. Fifth is Red with 49. So there we go. Those are the standings for the drivers and the teams championships. Keep all heating up here. It is all heating up. The action zone, I've got to say, around this circuit is around turn 1. We're going to be looking at, I think, seeing the most overtakes. And the next action zone between turn 10 and 11, the DRS zones. I think there's not many places you can overtake. Maybe turn 5 and turn 6, but that is a different thing altogether. Some people could be risky in terms of those straps, but there we go. But anyway, the Spanish Grand Prix has been a favourite of many, including Michael Schumacher, who won the race 6 times in the late 90s and early 2000s. And there was other multiple winners as well, which include Jackie Stewart, Mika Hakkinen, Nigel Mansell and Alan Prost, each with 3 wins, which is quite a lot to say the least as well. Obviously, Mercedes have put quite a bit of won quite a bit of races here, so it should be interesting as well. And don't forget, as usual in this league, there is a one-shot qualifying, so drivers only get one chance to make an impression, settle out. If they invalidate, then that's it. They'll be put towards near the end of qualifying. But anyway, we will be getting on with the strategy. Obviously, there's 3 people that are going to be doing the 2-stop strategy today, which is Mata, Iceman and Pete, because they finished in the top 3 last week. I believe it's Pete's second race doing the 2-stop. Baku, obviously I was talked about last week. Baku is quite common that you could possibly do a 2-stop if you get damage or anything. So, and there was obviously a lot of safety cars, so it didn't hinder in the slightest a little bit either. So let's get straight into the qualifying. And I've got something to say about someone, which I will I've got a speech prepared for a special someone after qualifying, so make sure that you listen in, because it's something that's quite close to my heart, and I know you would hopefully agree with what I'm going to say as well. But let's see who we're going to be following in terms of one-shot quali, and I really do hope that it's someone that I haven't followed. I need to actually try and remember who I followed and who I haven't, but we'll see. And this is going to be, I think I have to say, very intriguing in a test as well. If they're invalidated, they're going to be in deep trouble, especially how the tyres overheat. You don't really, ideally, you do not want to be on the soft tyres at all, if you could think about it. I mean, it's not the best situation to be in. So I just wouldn't want to be on the softs. I wouldn't want to be on the softs at all. But some people may try softer hards. Looking at the tyre strategy for today, because usually I would talk about it in the formation lap, but I'm going to talk about it here. Softs last 9 laps around this track, mediums last 16 laps, and hards last 21 laps. The delta between the softs and the mediums is about 0.6 of a second, and the delta between the softs and the hards is 1.2. The delta between the mediums and the hards is around about 6 tenths. So there we go. So there's the information that I usually talk about in the formation lap, but it's going to be something different tonight. So, without further ado, I think let's go on board with Newgarden. Actually, I haven't gone on board with him. So before that, let us get the telemetry and the chat map so I can actually see if they have invalidated or not. So you're going to be heading towards turn 1. A little bit of an understeering moment people tend to have around this circuit. It's very important that you nail it. On the way to turn 4, make sure your car is open once again, as close to be to the edge of the track. Now heading towards turn 5. Minimum speed here. You're going to be at 7th gear here, heading into turn 6, and now into 3rd gear here as well. And now going up the hill, and you're going to be going to famous turn 7 and 8. It's going to be uphill. The minimum speed should be around about 103 when you get down to turn 8. Now turn 9. Corner is probably the most iconic part of the circuit. You're heading towards the DRS straight, arrive at the hardest braking zone on the track, heading turns 10, and then heading towards the little kink of turn 11. 50 miles an hour, 2nd gear. Turn 12 is very hard in terms of the gradient. As a right-hander, it's best to keep as tight on the inside curve as you possibly can. Now you're going to be heading towards 13, 14, and then heading towards the final few corners of 15 and 16. Not a bad lap from Newgarden as he comes across the line, and it is going to be a 1:16.6 for him, but par with our current championship leader with a 1:15.2. Only 3 drivers have had their laps troubled. Actually, more people have had their lap time troubles. I will have to have a look at that. So here are your qualifying results then. Quite close than I thought actually between 1st and 2nd, but the gap is a little bit more than the others. So we've got Matteo Iceman, Carl in 3rd, we've got Risky in 4th, Pete in 5th, Kevin 6th, Ryan in 7th, Newgarden 8th, Ryan Berry in 9th. He's on the medium tyre, that's going to be interesting. Neil's in 10th. Then we've got Bankai, Acorn, Logan, Brad, Lee, Brandon, Yuri. Only 17 drivers tonight. So, before we carry on with tonight's proceedings, I would like to say a few words, and I've got no music for this. So on Saturday, we're sad to hear the news that Murray Walker has passed away at the age of 97. Murray Walker is a guy who's been a big inspiration to everyone in motorsport. He started commentating for the BBC at Silverstone in 1949 and became full-time in 1978. He was a commentator that can definitely make a race exciting, even if it doesn't look exciting on track. He's one of those commentators that also chose to stand whilst commentating during races, which, to be honest, amazes me. One thing that got drivers liking Murray Walker was that he was uncritical of any driver who had made errors. He was a good reader of mood after an on-track incident. He can make things so humorous that they're known as Murrayisms, which range from simple mistakes to complex things which are so memorable. And when it was a crash, we know due to Murray, it's, oh God! And high levels of energy. And his knowledge of Grand Prix racing was definitely, I've got to say, next level. And knew about every driver and track and racetrack, even before there was a lot of data that you see now. This man has been really special in my life for so many reasons. The first time I started watching F1 was back in 97. I was 3 years old at the time. It wasn't a live race though I started watching F1. It was a VHS tape. Yeah, VHS. Yeah. About Damon Hill's 1996 season. My parents got me into it. I don't think I would have stuck by it after 2 minutes if it wasn't down to Murray Walker's fantastic energy. He is a guy to this day who inspired me to commentate. There are others too that keep inspiring me, but out of all of them, he was definitely on top of my list. And today, when I commentate, I've been commentating since 2018, and when I've had tough times during commentary over the years, I remembered what Murray Walker would do in a situation, and that is to keep going, keep up with the energy, and remember the reason why you're doing this. The news was hard to take in on Saturday, but as Murray would like me to do, I'm going to carry on doing what I love. We also heard the sad news that Sabine Schmidt passed away after a long illness today. She was most known for racing at the Nürburgring, and she was a really good female racer. Even though I didn't know her very well, I've heard of what she's achieved, and it's really sad to lose her too. So, on behalf of VSL, rest in peace, Sabine Schmitz and Murray Walker. We'll definitely miss these two legends massively, and I have to say, no one can replace Murray Walker. Murray Walker's one of the best commentators out there, and will be definitely remembered. And as a mark of respect, I will now fall silent during the formation lap to pay respect to Murray Walker and Sabine Schmitz. I will talk about the choice of tyres for people outside the top 10 at the end of lap 1. I will carry on commentating at the end of the formation lap. So please join me in this tribute and remain silent during the formation lap. Thank you very much for listening to this speech, and I'll see you back for the race. Thank you. One red light, two red lights, three red lights, four red lights, five red lights. Go, 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 go! And it's a really good start for Mata as they head towards turn 1. Everyone is trying to keep it as cautious as they possibly can at this moment in time. Carl's also got a very good start heading towards turn 2 and 3. Let's see if there's any contact from anyone. Nope, everybody has made it through nice and cleanly so far. Obviously, we went past the main action zone. Ryan has had a very good start. I'm in the 4th place, but Risky may be trouble with that as well. Ryan is on the back of, I would say, Carl too, so that's going to be interesting. Peter's dropped down, way down actually, up to 10th. He's wheel banging now down into 11th. It's probably going to lose P12 potentially as well, as someone's almost going off the circuit. This is not the end of the race, boys, but they're just going all at it at this stage. But we're seeing, oh, there's someone that's gone off. There's someone that's gone off. That is Brad. And the car is perfect in every way, except it's crashed and it's now back on the circuit. But yeah, not good for Brad, but brilliant start for Mata, keeping his lead for as long as he possibly can. And Red Matt can't make it here tonight, but he's here in the chat, so great to see us. We've got Bankai going to try and dive it around the outside of Gavin as well. Risky's now up into third place, I think. No, actually, no. Is it Risky up to third? No, but he's not in third. It's just probably the game telling me porcupines. Unfortunately, you're going to get the timing glitch for a little bit, which is sad, I have to say. But hopefully it'll sort itself out very, very soon. Now, I'm going to look at the tyre compounds that the drivers have selected outside the top 10. So we've got mediums, mainly mediums and soft. No one has gone for the hard compound tyres today. As Brandon is making a move, I would say, past Bankai. Yes, he does. Heading into turn 7. And now heading towards 8 and then turn 9. Well, almost in turn 9 anyway. Now heading towards turn 10. They're still going to try and go side by side. No DRS yet, though. But Brandon's going to take advantage of the slipstream. Dives it around the inside. Perfect move for him. Up into 10th for now. But Logan is not that far behind. There was a few stewards reports last week, which is a few people they've got to consider. As Mata set the fastest lap of the race so far. Ryanberry, I've got to say, it's up into 6th. So he's doing very well. Acorn as well has had a great start. I think he was down in 11th or something. So, but we got 2 people in the pits. I think they've had damage, I would say, in that. So let's see what Bankai pits onto. Hard tyres he goes. And I think Lee is potentially going to be doing exactly the same thing. So there he goes. And Brad is not having the best of races either. He stays out though, so he's not giving up. But we potentially got a battle between Kev and Acorn then. I don't think Kev's going to make the move yet, but he's got plenty. He's got to use plenty of slipstream and he's going to use the ERS, but Acorn is falling away. His straight line speed is impeccable for Acorn. Kev is running out of deployment. He's used way too much ERS in this lap. And that is a danger that a lot of these drivers have come across, including myself as well. I found that even in hot laps that you just run out before the line and it's not good. So Kev is not using his ERS effectively. So he's got to find a way to improve that for the rest of the race, because Spain is quite hard to charge ERS, I have to say. I found that in my team. I think this was a race where I almost ran out of energy store, so I had to think about what to use for. But it's not my team. This is equal cars these guys are driving at the moment, equal multiplayer cars, and each of them have liveries which are suited to their team colours. So we've got 5 different ones. Not everyone is here tonight though, as Niels is into the pit lane and on to, I believe, the medium tyres. Yep, it is a front wing change. I was wondering why he was going into the pits, but it is a front wing change. So the field is starting to separate a little bit, but maybe Yuri could be the next driver to potentially get this move and this edge done. So we'll see what happens with Yuri. And I have to say, Logan did get a penalty, so this may help Yuri up a little bit, because Yuri has got no penalties. And I've got to say, this is one of my favourite liveries on this game. Not gonna lie. So if anyone is running this livery in this league, I have huge respect right away. Because I run it most of the time, pretty much all the time. But anyway, point aside, Risky's in the pits. Why did he go in the pits? I guess he really wanted to go onto the softs nice and early. Off the softs nice and early, I mean. Or he's got damage. Nope, he wants to go on the softs nice and early. But he's not doing a 2-stop, which Oh my goodness, it's confusing me. But he probably thinks the two-stop is faster. He's probably going to go for the undercut. I have some people do the two-stop here, and it's probably the most faster. I found that out when I was doing a league race around here. But we shall see. He's on mediums though. It's not going to last the whole race, but I expect he'll probably go on to another set of softs at the end, or maybe another set of the medium compounder tyres. So, Carl then has found some pace on Iceman. Iceman doing very well to stay in second, but Mata is definitely running away with it at the moment. I mean, as Niels is out the race. Oh, where did Niels retire? Safety car? Safety car? Oh, Iceman and Carl took advantage of that straight away, but Matt completely missed the pits. So, and he's seeing a safety car line, and he's thinking, oh no. He's thinking, what? It was my only opportunity to get a free pit stop and do the two-stop, and he's now in trouble. So, what he's going to do now, he's got to think strategically. He's got to get the pace done right away. Or maybe he can think about pitting, because the gap, like Akon and Brandon staying out as well. Obviously, they're only doing one stop, but everybody else around us decided to take advantage of the pits. I think most people could potentially be doing the two-stop. I think that's what most people will be doing. I'm a bit shocked. I thought most people would be doing the one-stop, but boy, was I wrong. So, it's going to be a quiet moment of the race, but it's going to make it a hell of a more interesting when the safety car restart happens, I have to say. But we shall see how this materialises. Mata is probably going to the pits now. I'm a bit worried, though, that Matt is not going to come out in the lead now, because he did start on pole. So he's got a lot of ground to make up, so... we shall see what happens. And we're seeing who has made stops. So the only ones that have not stopped is Logan, Brandon, and Akon. Everybody else made their stops, including the ones that are on the two stops. So that is Iceman, Mata, and Pete. They will only have to make one more stop, and then that's it. And I didn't know if you turn hard on and off, it fixes the glitches. So, who's going to come out on top with this battle that is about to commence? As everyone's so close now, we're just waiting for, I believe, Yuri and Brad to potentially catch up. Basically, I think everyone from P11 down will need to catch up, so it will probably take a while for these drivers to potentially get acquainted. But I think I think the ones on the 2-stop may have the most to lose in this situation if some of the guys may not pit again. But since majority of people are going to pit anyway, and someone has spun, that's Gavin. I think someone else almost got collected as well. Luckily, ghosting is on. So, luckily, no one has been hurt. Which is a good thing. But Gavin has got a 5-second penalty. That might get removed, but that depends on the severity of the situation at hand. Now, I had a feeling it was probably going to happen today. I did get a lot of facts about this track because I always like to prepare. And around this track, only 11 podium finishes of the circuit have come from lower than 5th on the grid. I wonder if it's going to change. And I'm a bit intrigued because it's still not showing like the yellow flag system. It's very annoying that it hasn't done that on this game. But let's just hope it fixes itself. Well, I don't think there's going to be another patch. So I think we're going to have to make the most with what we have got. But anyway, let's see what happens. Akon's going to be the one that is leading the field away. He's accelerated nice and early. Actually, maybe far too early. But let's see if it's paid off for him. But it's getting all the more interesting for the likes of Akon and Brandon to pull away like they can. Mata is on the mediums, and he's got to find a way to get past these two who have been on older mediums. So let's see if he does. Brandon tries to give him space. It looks like Brandon was lagging a little bit on my screen, or it might just be Brandon moving out the way. We got Ryan and Mata having a bit of a battle with Iceman as well. Iceman's caught in the middle of it. Like, this is the key around here. It's traffic. Most people don't know this, but this is also an endurance race as well, like in real life. Obviously the 24 hours of Spain I've hosted here. Like, it's been I can understand why this is a track for endurance racing as well. So it can be a test of endurance if you pulling away a lot, but looks like they're all close together at the moment. This will be good for me as there's not going to be probably much quiet moments, but I probably said that wrong. As Ryan goes into the pits, that's definitely damage for him, I would say. That pushes Carl up to 5th, Ryan Berry up to 6th, and Pete is up to 7th. We got Risky, who is really hungry to gain some more points finishes. He hasn't scored any points this season. I think one of 2 drivers to not score points. And he's getting a bit slightly going to turn 3, now heading towards turn 4, but I think he's got a much better exit into turn 5 and 6. There you go. So this might benefit him. It looks like Risky's got a bit of cornering speed, more cornering speed than the cars around him, so it may be down to the setup that these guys got. Luckily there's been no rain effectiveness so far. Kind of wanted to have rain effectiveness because I wanted to spice the race a little bit, but unfortunately we're not. And Risky almost looked for a dive around the outside of Pete there into one of the trickiest corners of the circuit. I wouldn't want to do it there, I have to say, but there we go. Meanwhile, even this is not for a net P1, but for a P1 on track at least, and this could help with the pit stops. These two are a huge disadvantage compared to everybody else, unless they want to keep these medium tyres and potentially do a medium to hard strategy, but they're going to be on much harder tyres for pretty much the whole race. after maybe probably about lap 16. Actually, no, probably less than that. Let me just have a look of what strategies I had written down somewhere. It was, yeah, lap 14. So I was 2 laps off. Lap 14 is when you box to hards. If you're doing medium to hard. Bit of a gamble, but you ask me. But if they're hoping for another safety car, then this could put them back in the picture a little bit. They can climb their way up the field a bit easier as well. So intriguing to say the least as Kyle. Let's just look at positions gained. So ignore Akon and Brandon, who's still yet to make their stops. Ryan Berry has gained 3. Most people have dropped down a few positions. Obviously, they would have moved up once Brandon and Akon pit. Yuri's gained 5. Brad has gained 1. I nearly said Brandon, but there's quite a few. There's quite a few multiple situations that these drivers are going to be facing now. I think we're going to probably see some punches. I have to say, if the guys push too much. But if these guys are going to be doing 2 stops, then no harm done. You see Risky getting a bit of an understeering moment once again. To be honest, I would find it hard in multiplayer cars to race around it. I've done a race here and I was pretty much near the back in Spain, to be honest. Like, I remember finished 14th in that race as Newgarden has picked himself a 3-second time penalty. Risky with the DRS. Meanwhile, Mata has taken the race lead. He's overtaken both Akon and Brandon. Iceman's got to do the same thing. I did say traffic will be important, but if Iceman doesn't get past these people later, then there's going to be other people that want a piece of him and want to have some intriguing battles, to say the least. So let's see. Iceman gets the edge on Brandon then, on fresher tyres. Will Carl be able to do the same? Ryan Berry as well. Risky and Knighton side by side now. Keeping it clean on the track at the moment. Looks like Pete's going to get the better run into turn 3. But who's going to get the better exit heading into the turn 4? This is going to be very key that they don't hit each other. I don't think Risky's going to try and go side by side here. Nope, he's not. But some great battling between both of these drivers. And let's hope they can keep it that way. Brandon has picked himself a 3-second time penalty. DRS open for Risky. Again, can't get the move past Pete now, but I'm guessing they're probably going to try for a move very, very soon. Again, Carl on the back of Brandon. He's losing a chunk of time. Ryan Berry is gaining. Ryan Berry, I have to say, is definitely the dark horse. As we got Brandon in the pits now for his first stop. I think maybe it's one early stop. We'll have to wait and see. I think it will be because it's around about lap 14. But these guys, I don't know if they are trying to leave as much space as possible. But Risky with a good run towards turn 1. But can Pete get the switch back? That's going to be the most crucial thing. We got Bankai and Kev battling in the background. So Brandon's dropped it all the way down into 14th position. There's a little bit of a slide there. My oh my, Pete, that was a save and a half. I mean, Pete, how on earth did you do that? Wow. That, if I was in this gravel, I would have been dead. I would have had my race done and dusted. So that's really good from Pete. Good car control. Once he did not end up in the gravel. So Matt pulling away again, which is crucial. 1.6 seconds. I think he's going to get into... I think he's going to get to a stage where he may get to the 2-second window soon, but Here comes Carl on Acorn. Easy move. Acorn probably does not realise that Brandon's already pitted, so Acorn definitely going to lose some ground, and I think the undercut is probably going to help Brandon be ahead of Acorn, I have to say. And that safety car did not help Acorn in the slightest. And I can see Ryan Berry's just waiting. I'm not surprised that Ryan Berry is definitely playing the patient game. He's playing the patient game because he doesn't want to get involved in accidents. He wants to get his best result of the season. And he's doing all he can to achieve that. Matto is now within that 2-second window now. So a window of opportunity for Matto to potentially get another win added to his name. He got a win last week in Baku. Could he have another one? It will be his third win, I believe, of the season. I should actually get the stats open a little bit more, but as Acorn goes into the pits, onto the hard tyres, end of the race, one-stop strat. Where's Brandon? So Brandon is down in 14th. Where's Acorn going to be? It's going to be tight. It's going to be really tight. But yep, the undercut has saved Brandon. So yeah, 1 second lost for Acorn. More battles than I probably was expecting around this circuit. They are definitely putting on a show because honestly, I have to say, I do not like Spain as a track. I don't know why it's on the calendar for another season in real life, but that's a different story for another time. But here we go. Yuri tried to go up the inside, but Newgarden closed the door there. And what I've known about Newgarden, I've raced alongside him. I've battled alongside him before. He is very good in terms of defending. His defending is immaculate. He is, well, he's amazing. And it's sometimes hard for me to defend from him because his attack is pretty good as well. So let's see then. And as I just said that, they go side by side into turn one. Is Newgarden going to be late on the brakes here? I think Newgarden was forced to concede there. So Yuri's now up into 9th place. Iceman has pit himself a 3-second time penalty. So quite a lot of time penalties. I did actually touch the fact that time penalties could be a massive factor in this on this track. I would say turn 9, 10, maybe turn 7. Final corner coming up as well. That is where I've suffered quite a few invalidations in my time on this game, I have to say. And Carl could jump up into second if he can keep close up to Iceman. And we can see two people going side by side. Bankai versus Pete. Two yellow cars, the yellow team that's been leading the team championship and they definitely want to keep it that way. They want to keep it side by side for pretty much a long time, I have to say. But they're not going to fight yet. But I know when they two fight and battle, they make it good. Lee, 3-second time penalty. More penalties now. Only a few drivers yet to score any penalties at the moment. And if they keep it clean, they could be on for some very decent points. .1 seconds is the gap now between Massa and Iceman. But we're particularly watching this midfield battle, in particular the ones at the back as well. Don't forget, if you are in the top 12, as I talked something about Acorn, and Acorn has went into a bit of a spin. Yes, he was definitely too early on the power there. It's caught me out a few times, so I would like to actually see the tyre wear, because I don't think the tyre wear is any good on this car right now. Don't forget, most of these guys, in terms of tyre life, they have to make one more stop. Newgarden comes in, he's got to change it front wing, and the hot lap curse unfortunately continues. So he comes out in, not last, because Logan unfortunately has had a much worse race than him, and Nils has probably had the worst of them all as he's retired from this race. The only position under threat is P2 between Iceman and Carl. Carl comes in for his final pit stop. I believe it'll be another set of the medium tyres. So there they go. Yes, it is the other set of the mediums. Risky follows Carl in. They're working together, I'm presuming, in a party. And Risky has got, I think it's a 5-second stock go, I believe. So he had to serve it. That cost him a chunk of time, but that's a shame. So the difference between him and Risky, him and Carl, is probably huge, but we will see. We're pretty much halfway into this race, and there's still half of this race still to go, and I really do hope these drivers put out all the stops to try and get the best possible positions. I've seen much worse Spanish Grand Prix races in league racing, and to be honest, so far it's not been too bad, but I think we're going to get to a point where we are going to be in a quiet phase. So I think for most of these drivers, it is about a race of attrition as well. As we got Ryan Berry, who stayed out. Iceman and Pete go in. So Iceman and Pete are serving their final stop. And like I thought it was going to be, he goes on to another set of the medium tyres. So a bit of change in developments here. Could this be the pit stops they're looking for, or would it flow fat in the face? Meanwhile, Carl is ahead of Iceman in the pits now. Carl's undercut worked. I did tell you that the undercut would work, which means Carl is definitely ahead on track. So all Carl needs to worry about is try and get in with that 3-second window so he could be ahead of the guys in front of him, but they still have to make their stops anyway. Risky gets another penalty as Mata goes into the pits. Well, he really did had to respond to... He had to respond to the likes of Carl, the likes of Iceman, the ones who've already made their final stops, and Pete too. And we do see Kev in the pits as well. Kev has been on the radar today. He's actually done a really good job. So fair play to him. And to be honest, he may be still... I won't talk too much on him because I'm worried that I'm going to be... have a commentator's curse. But we shall see. So Kev comes out in 10th place. So still in a good chance of points. You can see Mata and having a battle with Yuri, but Yuri will have to make it stop. But as long as Mata doesn't get held up too much, he should be okay. And Yuri lets Mata pass, which I think crucial. So I think Yuri will understand he'll need to pit. And Iceman's got another penalty. So the penalty's now up to 6 seconds. I'm looking at tyres. Everybody's on the mediums except Brandon and Akon. The only two, it looks like, that is doing the one-stop strategy. So Yuri comes in onto another set of mediums. You can't really go on softs at this point because the softs just die. So that's the best decision. Ryan has been on those mediums for quite a bit, actually. I mean, did he pit under safety car? I'm not entirely sure. But he's the only driver yet to make one more stop that can't make it to the end. So again, he's in probably a similar situation to what Akon and Brandon were, but Brandon actually made his way back up to 5th place. I have to say, good job to Brandon for getting a good comeback. A few drivers been lapped already, though. I'm intrigued on why Logan is on the soft compounder tyres. But very intriguing, to say the least, as Mata, 8.1 seconds between him and Ryan Berry, but Ryan Berry will have to make one more stop. 1.9 seconds is the gap between Mata and Kyle. So, but Iceman wants to get rid of that deficit. Here he comes. Iceman is looking for an answer. He wants that P3 on track from Kyle. I know that he's got 6 seconds, but the sooner he could get past Kyle, the better, because he's going to be in a lot of trouble otherwise if he does not. Yellow flag nearby as well. That might have hindered Iceman a little bit. There may be someone else spinning off ahead, as is Ryan actually that's gone off. As Ryan's got a puncher. Ryan has got a puncher front left. So maybe he was on those mediums for a bit longer. Maybe he was pushing too much. And I did warn that it could be puncher territory, and I guess Ryan Berry did not listen. So mediums only last 16 laps before their puncher territory. So Ryan Berry was definitely cutting it fine there. That means you're but he's not losing that much time. But this may have hindered him quite a lot. So that's very, very sad. Very, very sad. He comes in and he's probably going to go on to soft tyres. Yes, he does go on softs. Soft lasts 9 laps, so it can make it. If people are pitting now, definitely go on softs. I'll say people outside the top 10 go for softs to stand up a chance of getting the fastest lap. As Iceman, unfortunately, has disconnected from the session. And I hope he does come back soon. But that will allow Brandon to possibly get podium spot too. Let's have a look at these penalties actually. So, Iceman's on 6, Brandon's on 3, Pete's on 6, Risky's on 11, Akon's on 3, Yuri's on 3, Bankai's on 9, Newgarden's on 9, Lee's on 9, and Logan's on 9. And then we've got Mata, Kyle, Kev, M. Ryan, Ryan Berry, and Brad on. No penalties at all. I don't know how they do it around here, but they've somehow managed to do it sooner or later. Lap 26 of 33 now. Kev could be on for the hunt for P8 on track. But he's got no penalties anyway, so he can jump up. But the more positions he jumps up on track, the better chance he's going to get in scoring more decent points and climb his way up the standings. A lot of these drivers would like to climb the way up the standings. It's quite a natural thing. But we shall see as Kev lost a bit of ground to Yuri now. But all Kev needs to do is keep on his pace. If Kev keeps on Yuri's pace, then I would say Kev should be fine, as Iceman set the fastest lap so far with a 1:13.6. I was actually about to check for the fastest lap there, but the game has decided to show it otherwise. Unless someone gets the fastest lap now, we shall see. Don't forget, the fastest lap does get 2 points. Like I said earlier on in the stream. And if you are liking the stream so far, guys, don't forget to click the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel as well, turn notifications on so you know when to not miss a video. We're on 72 subscribers. Wouldn't it be amazing if we can get to 100? I mean, that will be just super happy. But these drivers only got a few more laps to go. And there's someone going side by side. That's Gavin being lapped by Kyle or Risky, I don't know. Yeah, Kyle. Obviously it's ghosted anyway, so you can still race, but if you don't move in certain flag posts, then you will, I think, get penalised for it. So that's something to bear in mind. Let us know who your driver of the day is so far as well. We like to see who has been the most improved as well. And so I'm just seeing where people started, because I read a fact earlier that no one who finished on the podium here has been outside the top 5. Everyone that's been on the podium has been inside the top 5. So Matt actually started pole, Carl started 3rd, Iceman started 2nd. Brandon's going to throw my theory out of the water. Brandon's going to get up to 3rd due to Iceman's 6-second pens. So, penalty for podium for Brandon. I was expecting Brandon to challenge from early on, and there is quite a lot of reasons why I was confused on Brandon's not really good form in some races, but in some races he's been really good, some races he's been really bad. But this race, he's been consistent on pace, and it shows that consistency is key in racing. You've got to be consistent. If you're consistent on your pace and you gain as well every lap and be consistent after that, you will possibly try and move up. If you're not consistent, you're going to be dropping down positions, and that's why I lose many positions in races, because I'm not that consistent in terms of race pace. I know it's something I need to work on as a racer, and I know that's what a few of these drivers also need to work on too. And it'll be too late for safety cars. I'm glad there's no safety cars, to be honest. There's been only one at the start of the, well, in the opening few laps of the race, actually, due to Niels' retirement. It was I have to say, it was a bit of a delay as to when someone retired and there was a safety car. Usually when someone retires, it goes straight to a safety car if the impact is that bad. But you never know with this game. You never know with the damage model, the damage limitation. But anyway. Four more laps to go. Can anyone gain a... Well, I have to say risky. I think I've probably jinxed him many more times now because he could potentially get his first point and he's on 14 seconds worth of penalties. He could still get it, but it's going to be a tall order. But yeah, 14 seconds around Spain. I mean, he must have cut way too many corners than I can count. So, pretty intense to say the least. As Gavin picked up a penalty too. Sorry that my pop filter just went poof a little bit, but there we go. Matt somehow still going to handle this win, mainly because the two-stop is the most faster. A lot of people would be on the two-stop anyway. So that is potentially why. And sorry for getting a few frame drops then, but hopefully it's all back to normal now as Iceman picked up. He's up to 9 seconds. Oh, Iceman's going to drop way down the order now. So I think he's going to have a bit of a mountain to climb in the next couple of races, but at least he'll be doing the one stop next week. I will need to double check. And someone left the session or someone retired or something. That's Brandon. Now, that's a similar place to where Niels retired earlier on in the race. So, if it was, like, a few laps ago, safety car. But since won the penultimate few laps of this race, well, penultimate lap now, it's too late, obviously. Because you have to have at least 2 laps of green flag running. So, this is every man for themselves now. And Ryan is fighting for the final point. Ryan Berry wants to get more than 1 point. Here he goes to the inside. And Ryan Berry, bravo, that was a very great move. I don't think Ryan could defend that. And he's not going to be in a good position to attack either due to the fact that dirty air on this track is an absolute nightmare. As Brad has left the session, he is not a happy bunny at all, to say the least, which is understandable to say the least. So on the final lap now, Matt has driven perfectly. We thought the safety car did not help him anyway, but it turned out that it really benefited him. I think without that safety car, he probably... And it's going to be an almighty challenge for the next couple of weeks to see who is going to be the one to help their team moving forward now. But anyway, Mata going through. Turns 12 now. Heading towards a little kink of turn 13. And you're going to now go on to turn 14. Right apex they go. And Mata is going to come across the line. And he's going to be winning the Spanish Grand Prix here at VSL. Carl in second. Iceman's going to drop down a bit due to penalties. But it is Brandon that could potentially get the podium. Brandon, what a good comeback of form he's shown. Iceman's dropped down to 4th. Heat is in 5th. Risky's going to drop down massively, actually. Because Yuri will get 6th now. That's why I'm not good at maths, okay? But anyway, Yuri in 6th. Risky 7th. Acorn 8th. Kevin 9th. Acorn 10th now. Ryan's 9th, actually. Acorn 10th. Kev 11th. Bankai 12th. And we're just waiting for Newgarden and Lee to cross the line. Logan, unfortunately, got lapped. Sadly. Sad times. And let's see what the game has chosen as driver of the day. It is Brandon that's got driver of the day. And to be honest, I'm going to give him driver of the day. He kept it clean. He needed this comeback of form today, and he definitely showed why he deserved to be in this tier, in this league, I mean. And I think Brandon's momentum will go up moving forward now. I think he would. So, let's look at your results. So anyway, Mata in 1st, Carl 2nd, Brandon 3rd. These 3 will be on the 2-stop next week, whatever the track is. Iceman 4th, Pete 5th, Yuri 6th, Risky 7th, Ryan Berry 8th, Ryan 9th, Acorn in 10th. We've got Kevin 11th, Bankai 12th, Newgarden in 13th, Lee 14th, Gavin 15th, and your retirements are Brad and Niels. Gavin, I think, retired as well, but I can't remember. Gavin on 24 seconds worth of penalties. Oh my god. Anyway, that has been the Spanish Grand Prix. Next week, we go to, if I check my notes, we go to China next week. China, I would say a lot better, but China, the tyre wear is also another massive issue, so a lot of things to consider there. If you're on the 2-stop, it's probably maybe going to be a lot easier for anyway if you're on good on pace, so we'll see how that goes. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. We will see you next week for the Chinese Grand Prix. Bye-bye.